Hello, my name is Shallon, and I'm in the credit department here at Payments Gateway. Thank you for choosing us as your merchant account provider. I will be walking you through how to use our virtual terminal product today. The virtual terminal, when used in conjunction with our payment gateway, is the most advanced web-based payment processing software available today. With its straightforward user interface, virtual terminal enables you to process online payments, telephone payments, or point-of-sale payments easily and securely. Once you complete this self-paced virtual terminal training, your business will be able to process credit card payments and debit card payments, process e-check payments, set up recurring payments, and automatically process NSF collections. Additionally, a complete suite of reports will help you track your receivables, better manage your resources, and increase your cash flow. After you complete this course, you will be able to view transaction details online as soon as they are complete, subject to permissions set by your system administrator, and export transaction data for use in your accounting system, other reporting or data analysis tool, marketing software, or other application. Whether your business processes online payments, telephone payments, or point-of-sale payments, Virtual Terminal is the perfect payment processing platform to handle all your financial transaction needs.
We recommend that you follow along in your live virtual terminal while completing this course. In order to do so, you will need the following: username and password that was sent to your system administrator. If you do not have this information, please contact your system administrator and they can give it to you. You will also need your merchant identification number. Your computer needs to be running at a minimum Microsoft Internet Explorer 6.0. All browsers are supported. For security reasons, we recommend using the most up-to-date version of your browser. Both Mac and Windows operating systems are supported. Finally, you will need supported check reader and/or credit card swiper. The supported devices will be detailed further on in training. As we go through training, there may be some jargon that is foreign to you. So the next few sections will help to ease that confusion. What is AVS? AVS stands for Address Verification Service. It is a service that we strongly recommend you use on all credit card transactions. AVS works by validating the street address and zip code at the time of the transaction, along with the card number, expiration date, and amount against the billing address and zip code for the cardholder that the issuing bank has on file. The issuing bank actually provides the AVS response. The result will be a match, a partial match, no match, AVS not available, or error. The merchant can use the AVS response information for fraud control. For example, if shipping an expensive electronic item, the address and zip code do not match, it would be wise for the merchant to not ship the item without contacting the cardholder. This will save and/or reduce a potential chargeback. AVS is a great tool that should be used by all merchants who accept credit cards, since it will help to reduce the risk of fraudulent transactions. It is also worth noting that if you choose not to use AVS, you will be charged additional processing fees for higher risk transactions. Standard entry class, or SEC codes, are a foundation of the e-check transaction and work hand in hand with authorization requirements. The SEC code tells us how the transaction was authorized and what type of account the customer or client has, consumer or business. When it comes to using SEC codes, it is vitally important to use the proper code every time. Here are a few of the more popular SEC codes along with a short explanation of each. PPD transactions should only be used for business-to-consumer transactions and can be either debits or credits. PPD transactions can be used for either a single, one-time transaction or recurring transactions. For example, a direct deposit, employer to employee, or a direct payment, vendor to customer, like an insurance company debiting a customer's account for the monthly premium. A POP entry is a transaction for which the authorization occurs at the point of sale in a face-to-face environment. POP should only be used for business-to-consumer debit transactions, and they will always be a single, one-time transaction. It is important to note that the whole process will always start with acceptance of a check or source document. Proper notice must be provided to the receiver, posted in a prominent and conspicuous manner. CCD should only be used for any business-to-business transactions and can be either debits or credits. CCD can be used for either a single, one-time transaction or recurring transactions. A web entry is a transaction for which the authorization is received via the Internet. Web should only be used for business-to-consumer transactions and can be only debits, single or recurring. A TEL entry is a transaction for which the authorization is received orally over the telephone. TEL should be used only for business-to-consumer transactions and can only be debits, single one-time debits to be specific. TEL transactions require that the identification of the consumer be verified before the authorization piece takes place and either recorded or confirmed in writing. An ARC entry is a transaction for which the authorization is received in the mail or at a drop box. It can be received via U.S. mail, FedEx, UPS, or any other traceable mail in the form of a check. However, before it can be considered for conversion to an ARC entry, the originator must ensure the check writer was provided with a proper notice of their intent to convert. An RCK entry is a single entry transaction used by a business to represent a check that has been processed and returned because of insufficient or uncollected funds. For a complete list of SEC codes and their definitions, please see the 2011 NACHA Operating Rules and Guidelines. You can purchase one at www.nacha.org. It happens to everyone now and again. You have a returned e-check item. It's not the greatest feeling in the world, but it happens. Once you get a returned item, the question becomes, why was it returned? In this module, we will outline some of the more common return codes. RO1, insufficient funds. The available account balance is not sufficient to cover the dollar value of the transaction. RO2, account closed. A previously active account has been closed by the customer or the bank. RO4, invalid account number. The account number structure is not valid. The entry may fail the check digit validation or may contain an incorrect number of digits. RO7, authorization revoked by customer. The customer has revoked the authorization previously provided to the business for this particular transaction. The customer may request immediate credit from their bank for an unauthorized debit. The request must be made in writing within 15 days after the bank sends or makes available to the customer information pertaining to that debit entry. The customer must also provide their bank with an executed affidavit declaring and swearing under oath that the authorization for the transaction has been revoked by the receiver. Note, this return reason code may not be used for POP entries, single entry web entries, or TEL entries. RO8, payment stopped. The receiver of a debit transaction has the right to stop payment on any specific ACH debit. A stop payment request should be handled in accordance with the provisions of Article 8, Recall, Stop Payment, Recredit, and Adjustment of the ACH rules. The customer's bank should verify the customer's intent when a request for a stop payment is made to ensure that it is not intended to be a revocation of authorization. RO7. A stop payment order shall remain in effect until the earliest of the following occurs: a lapse of 6 months from the date of the stop payment order, payment of the debit entry has been stopped, or the customer withdraws the stop payment order. These are just a few of the return codes. For a complete list and explanation, please visit the Knowledge Center within the virtual terminal.